what was the overall message to the team first day of training camp?
Get better. That was our message. We're glad to be back, glad to be on the floor. It was a long off season. I talked about it a bit and on media day, and just continue to try to build from here and have growth. I thought today's practice was a really good first day.
And we talked about this a little bit last year, but how much does it help having so many guys back where you can kind of hit the ground running first day?
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage. Guys are picking up things right away. A lot of what we're doing is things that we did last season. We're just adding a few different concepts and adjustments, but they're all picking it up. They came with good energy, and we'll have another practice this evening.
One of the positives from last season was defense. You know, you guys finished sixth in the NBA. I mean, schematically, like, do you expect to do a lot of the same things this year? Do you expect it to look pretty similar?
We want to maintain our foundation defensively. We want to be able to make some adjustments when need be, and I think that's the key in the NBA. Is these guys are so talented. You can't just throw one look. Teams are talented. You can't throw one look at them. There's times throughout the course of the game where we have to make adjustments. I thought we did a great job of that last season. We'll just continue to add to it.
Hey, Coach, how does the dynamic, I mean, obviously you have a relationship with Coach Borrego, but that was when you were a player and he was a coach. Is it different now that you're the head coach and he's the assistant, or is it just kind of the same kind of synergy that y'all always had?
Synergy is still there. He's a guy that, you know, I said it before, I kind of went after him in terms of his heart as well, his high character, and he's the same person he's always been, respectful, super intelligent, gets out on the floor and he can direct traffic. He's been there before, so it's helpful for our players, it's helpful for us, and he's really uplifting our program right now.
I know one of the things that Larry mentioned earlier in the offseason was maybe playing a little bit less center this year. I mean, there's a lot of things to be determined. I don't know, how do you expect to use Larry this year? How similar to last year? Different in any way or anything like that?
We got to see. We got to see what we look like once we're full with Larry being healthy. Wasn't on the floor today, but I can see him being in different positions. He's right. You know, there's times where him and Z are on the floor together. There's times that, you know, you play some of those teams that are big. Milwaukee comes to mind right away with Lopez and Jonas. There may be lineups where we go big with him at the 5 or at the 4 and Jonas at the 5.
How do you like the progression of some of the younger guys like E.J. Liddell, Dyson Daniels, and what are you expecting from them this upcoming season?
Well, I like what I saw in Summer League, starting with that. Both of those guys had a productive Summer League. They're coming in with confidence. Dyson was on Australia's national team, and that's momentum for those guys. Good to see E.J. healthy and on the floor, and I know he's just as excited as we all are. And so we got some training camp games where we can figure it out.
Do you have to remind Hawkins to shoot, or is he
Nah, I don't have to remind him to shoot. You know, it'll be a process, though, for him as well. He's picking things up, but he kind of knows who he is, and that's a pleasure to be around.
What did you see from Zion in his first practice game?
Good. He looked great. His conditioning was well. He picks up things pretty quickly. We're moving him around a bit. You guys have seen him. He'll have the ball. He'll play the 4 some. I think new for us this season is we want to make sure we get him at the 5 with some of those groups.
How does it change your offense when you have two front court guys like Z and B.I. who can initiate your offense and kind of flip the matchups the way they can on nights like this?
It's an advantage for us. Guys that can handle the basketball, can play off the ball. Different from a lot of guys in the NBA. They can go down to the post and play from there. So it's an advantage, and we want to continue to build our offense around the weapons that we have.
And as you said, I mean, Zion's good at so much different stuff. Why do you just want to see, you know, times here and there him playing the 5 this season?
Well, we looked at our pick and roll numbers with him handling and him as a screener, and there's many more opportunities when he's the handler. Now we want to get him as a screener as well because his numbers are off the charts in both. So we feel like that's an area we can grow a bit, getting him running in the screens, diving, catching it in the pocket, and making plays from there.
Not to romanticize it or anything. You've been doing it a long time. You have a cool job. The first day, is it kind of like the first day of school? I mean, I know you've been in this league a long time, but still, the first day kind of hope reigns supreme and things like that. Does it feel, you know, do you kind of get a certain energy on the first day of practice?
Yes. think I woke up at 5:30 this morning, which is unusual for me. I'm normally 6:15, 6:20, so it felt like the first day of school. And I think that's the beauty in being human enough to just understand that I'm nervous just like these guys are. I want to come out and, do well, and we want to have a great practice. We want to be sharp and crisp. We work on it, but now we get to put it on display. So it was good to get that first practice under our belt. We'll take a break and come back and do it again.
There's been a lot of health questions heading into this
Yeah.
year. How do you plan to pace out the big three and the rest of the team through training camp?
Say that again.
How do you plan to pace out the workload on the team through training camp?
We really talk to our medical team, our performance team. We sit down and we go over our schedule and we look at, how do we maximize our players. And right now it's good to have, especially our main five, healthy. We'll play it by ear. The NBA is all about being able to adjust. And so, we're prayerful that we can stay healthy the whole season. And if that changes, we'll try to adjust from there.
And I know that he looks real good last year as well, but in what different ways does Zion look different, and how is he moving compared to last season when he came?
He just looks focused. You guys heard him in this press conference, but he's been here a bit during the summer, kind of hanging with his family. He popped into the gym a few times as well and got some work in with some of his teammates. But his focus is going to be a big part of him being able to have a productive season, and so far so good.
I know you're big on self-evaluation. What are your goals to kind of improve as a coach in year 3 now that you're kind of comfortable in your position here?
Well, number one, I want to make sure I deposit into our staff, deposit into our players. It's something I talked about with the coaching staff, especially early in the season. I think that's an area where I can do better, because in January and February, those are times that we have to take withdrawals. Those are like the dog days of the season. So trying to build up that momentum with guys right now so it's there during the latter parts of the season.
When you guys do go with Z at the 5, defensively there's going to be situations where he gets switched out on the perimeter. How important is it for the other guys to really help with the defensive glass and end those possessions?
It's important. I think that's an area where we wasn't at our best, especially when we were rating 1 through 5. It's something we're talking about right away. It's how important it is for us to secure rebounds. Our defense was top 6, but the Oklahoma game that we lost, they had 25 second chance points or something like that. Those are when we have a defense that can get stops, we got to secure rebounds, and that's something that we're talking about for sure.
Is it simply just about getting bodies on people, boxing out? Is it a collective thing?
A part of it is strategic, but it's more a mentality. I'm not allowing my man to get it. I'm not going to turn and look. I got to turn and hit, and then just bring the physicality part to it. So a bit strategy, but really it's mentality for us.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right, thank you all.
Coach.